You did the site visit, you've sent them the quote, and then nothing. Sound familiar? Here are 6 things you can do right now to stop it from happening every single time. My name is Robbie Takir. I co-founded 2 agencies, One Click Digital and Legacy Media. We help builders and trades generate leads, create content, and implement AI into their business so you can make more money doing what you do best. I had a client recently, good builder, does really great work, and he gets a reasonable amount of leads. But when we looked at what was actually happening to those leads, the pattern was brutal. There were so many leads where they would qualify the client, they would do a site visit, they would send the quote, and then nothing. It didn't matter whether the client eventually went ahead or went with someone else or chose not to proceed. Either way, they were ghosting the client. They weren't getting a call back. They couldn't get any replies, nothing. They did all the hard work, showed up, walked a job, put a whole tender together, a whole quote together, and then leads were just vanishing. And he really didn't know why. Okay, so we dived into it and we found there was many things that he wasn't doing that he started doing now. And we saw all of that go away. And I'm going to share what we did into his business with you today. The problem wasn't the quote, right? The first thing we jump to is, shit, I must have been too expensive, or it must have been too high, or someone must have come in cheaper. The problem wasn't the price. Most builders treat their very first visit with the client as if it's the finish line. It's actually the starting line for the sale, right? I can't tell you how important it is to make sure that your first interaction with the client goes well, like you set things off on the right foot. You need to plan for what happens next, right? Otherwise, if you don't, leads will default into silence and you'll be telling them that call me when you're ready, and then you'll never hear from them again for whatever reason. They chose to go with someone else, or they didn't proceed, or they don't want to build anymore, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The reason is irrelevant. The goal is to get as many responses as possible. So there's 2 layers to this mistake. The first one is the initial interaction, and then the second one is the follow-up or lack of. So here's 6 things you can do to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Step 1, handle the interaction well. Before you go and worry about how to follow up and what I should say to them, you got to handle the initial interaction well. Doing the first interaction well really helps you set up for everything else, right? If you are the best person at following up, like you follow up better than anyone in the world, but your interaction is poor, you can be the greatest follower-upper in the world. That's not a word, but it is now. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make a difference, right? You've already gotten off on the wrong foot. Your site visit itself is your biggest leverage point, meaning when you go and when you actually meet with the client, whether that's on their side or whether they come to you, that's the biggest leverage point. And before you leave, the lead should feel clear on what next steps look like, and they should feel confident in you being the one that they want to work with, right? If your interaction's average, no follow-up strategy is going to save you. So the first things first, get good at your initial interaction. Do some homework, get clear on what the person wants, and play to their value, right? Whatever's important to them. A client told me about a prospect they were working with, and for them it was important on trying to save money wherever they could, in the sense of they wanted to pick up all the little bits to try and bring the quote down as much as possible. His initial reaction was, I don't know if I want to do this. They're already trying to cut the price, blah, blah, blah. And I explained to him, hey, this is what's important to him. If you want to win this job, you need to structure your offer in a way that's going to do that. Because guess what most other people will do? They'll think the way you just thought, right? Oh no, they're trying to cut my price. And it's like, they're not. They're trying to do what's in their best interests. Okay. It's not about you. It's all about them. So you need to play to whatever they value in that particular moment. It might be time, it might be money, it might be speed, it might be value, it might be getting a deal. Whatever it is, you need to work that out on the initial interaction and then play to that. Number 2, you can book in the next touch point before you walk out. We do it every single time, no matter whether it's the first call, the second call, the third call, or the fourth call, or the third meeting, or the 50th meeting. We book the next meeting from that meeting. So I don't leave without knowing when the next call is going to happen. And I say, okay, cool. Today might be Monday, and we spoke today, and you're going to need, what, a week? Okay, cool, no worries. Well, what time next Monday suits? Because I want to book it into my calendar to make sure I don't forget to call you. Yeah, okay, cool. Can I send you a calendar invite? Bam, you send them the invite, you confirm they received it before you leave. And then ghosting becomes much harder for them. Tip number 3, call for a different reason. Instead of just saying, hey, following up on my quote, hey, following up on my quote, hey, have you made a decision? Have you made a decision? Have you made a decision? I'll share a quick story with you. I was about to buy a Tesla. The guy called me so much that every single time he called me, I was busy, that I avoided him so many times that I went and bought a Ford Ranger because I didn't know how to take his call anymore. I didn't know how to say, hey man, like I've avoided you 27 times now, but let's chat. It became awkward, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to take this phone call anymore. So, and he would just call me and say, have you bought a car? 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 Instead of calling me and say, hey, Robbie, we've got this one on the lot that has your name on it. Is it worth, like, call for a different reason? Or, hey, just letting you know, Tesla's just released this thing. Or, hey, whatever it might be. He could have easily made any other reason to call me about that particular thing. Hey, I thought I just saw you. Hey, you know, this thing just happened. Hey, you mentioned this to me when you were here, right? Find a different reason to start the conversation. And then when you call about that reason, you say, also, any updates on your decision, blah, blah, blah. Find a different reason to call. Don't always call and be like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? That won't work. Step number 4, follow up consistently. So not desperately, but follow up consistently. I know builders who will call them once and then say, yep, they didn't answer. And it's like, cool. When did you call them again? And they're like, I haven't. And it's like, why? Why do you only call them? What if they were busy? What if they didn't see the missed call? What if their phone wasn't working? What if their phone died that day and they didn't see the... Have you ever missed a call and didn't know you missed it? Because I have. And it's like, well, why don't you then call them again or call them later that week or send them an email, which actually leads me into tip 5. Follow them up on different channels, right? You called, they didn't answer, send them a text. They don't reply, send them an email. They didn't reply to your email, call them again. Have a multi-channel approach. And then number 6, give them a way out, okay? I was in real estate and I was told to follow up relentlessly, and I used to do it and I would call and call and call and call, and I thought, hey, I'm a weapon. Look how well I'm doing my job. I call this guy consistently every single time on the same day because I had a system set up that was prompting me to call him, and I thought I was doing really well. But people weren't answering my calls, but I thought I was doing good because I'm making the calls. This is a numbers game. He told me, give him a way out. Most people don't want to handle awkward conversations or conflict, right? Most people will avoid it at all costs. And sometimes you just need to give people a way out. And sometimes it can be a text that just says, hey, you know, if this isn't of interest to you anymore, just let me know. And you'll be surprised at how many people will respond appropriately, respond promptly, and then say, like, thanks for your time. And how many people might even come back around. If you're in a business like we are, where people will jump from person to person to person until they come work with us, and then they generally stick because most people suck. I can't tell you the amount of times I've done that to someone. They've gone with someone else because they were cheaper or whatever it might be, and then they come back around. You need to give people a way out. Getting ghosted after a site visit is almost never about your price. It's about the gap between the visit and the decision, and whether you've made it easy for the lead to keep moving forward. Okay, so if you handle the initial day well, you input all these little things. There's no one thing. There's no silver bullet. You do all these little things to make sure that the other person on the other end is actually getting what they want. Most of the time, you'll get an answer. Not always, but most of the time. If you're a builder or a tradie and you want to see exactly how we help construction businesses turn more quotes into signed jobs, there's a link in the description below and you can join our school group. It's 100% free. We show you exactly how we help people create content, generate leads in their business. There's no catch. You simply click the link below, put in your details. It's on school.com. If you've liked this video, click the link below, subscribe. I'm going to be sharing more videos like this with how we help our clients do what we do in our business. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.